I'm Dick Goodall. I'm CEO of Dixon, and I live in Kent County, Maryland. I went to VMI and then went in the service. I was in the 1st Infantry Division, a lieutenant in the Armor Division, and I served in Panama. And got out of that, came to work for Dixon. It was a family company. I was part of that family, and ended up here. I think it's a great place to raise kids. I mean, there's no question about it. I mean, my 2 children graduated from Kent County High School, went off to college, and are successful young adults now. And they both love the Eastern Shore, and they're both living on the Eastern Shore. My son lives in Kent County. My daughter lives in Queen Anne's County. So I have it made. The family's right here. In 1975, it became obvious to us in Dixon in Philadelphia, where we were headquartered, that it was becoming more and more difficult where we were located in downtown Philadelphia area, that the area had deteriorated to such a point that we couldn't recruit the kind of people we need, especially in jobs like engineering, you know, high-level accounting, finance, that type of thing. I mean, we could still get a lot of our hourly labor machine operators were very important positions, but it was becoming harder for those people wanting to travel to that area also. So we made a decision to look around for other locations that might be more strategic in the future for us. And we found one in Philadelphia area, outside in the suburbs, that just didn't work out for one reason or another. And this became evident that this building was available. The Maryland Department of Economic Development, you know, we called them, and make a long story short, we just decided to buy it. We kept the plant open in Philadelphia and started a small manufacturing you know, contingency here. And we only brought total 13 people down from Philadelphia. Everybody, in fact, that's from executives down to operators, and everything else we hired and trained. We worked with Chestertown College, but mostly we did our own training. You know, you get frustrated with the state of Maryland. I think Maryland's ranked 44th in all the states in business friendliness, and with what regulations, it is difficult to do business in Maryland. It's just the general attitude is not positive. It's not like Virginia, which is very positive. In North Carolina, we have operations in both of those states. And you can see the difference, but this is our home, and we intend to try to work as hard as we can to make this work. This company is not a big company, but it's not a real small company either anymore. And the people we have working here are the ones that made this successful. It wasn't me. It was all the folks made it possible that we are successful today. And we think we owe not only the town, but we owe them the courtesy to do whatever we can to be successful and profitable in this environment. We're going to work hard at it. We're going to keep talking to the people. They don't listen most of the time, but we're going to keep talking to them. I think some of them are trying. I think some of these agencies do try. I don't think they're made up of bad people. It's hard changing a culture. You know, we changed our culture. We were always a good company, but in the last 20 years, we've changed our culture. We've worked on what we call a continuous improvement process, and we're into Lean and Six Sigma, and we've done a lot of things to make us. I remember sitting in a meeting, I'm getting a little bit off subject. I'm sitting in a meeting, a staff meeting, maybe 20 years ago, and say, you know, we got to work to be the employer of choice. You know, our job is not to hire whoever we can get at the lowest price. It's to hire the best people we can get to give them the value of employing with a good company, and get everybody as part of the decision-making process. How do we do that? And it's taken us a lot of years, but we have bridged that river. You know, our people, I believe, and I think if you ask them, they'd believe it too, they feel part of the process of being successful. I love Chestertown. You know, we choose to live here. Kids grew up here. Wife loves it. You know, we're involved with a lot of different organizations having to do with helping other people. My wife was president of Horizons for a number of years, and she's still involved with that group. We enjoy giving back. I've had the opportunity, which I wouldn't have had anywhere else because I don't have a lot of these skills, but I coached everything from t-ball to soccer to, I even did high school swimming for 4 years, and they couldn't find a coach. And if that's not a treat, treating boys and girls at 7 to 9 o'clock at night in bathing suits in high school, it was an experience. But we love what you can do in a small town. I mean, it's just terrific. In relationship to the businesses, I think that sometimes our local officials care about things that they should care about and that are important, but they don't see deep enough into what makes a community really want its jobs. You know, we need jobs for these people to shop in our stores, whether it's the shopping center or downtown Chestertown. And I do think that we have to pay, and they have to pay more attention, and maybe we as businesses have to learn how to speak to each other more about issues we would hope they would bring up to their legislatures in the state and the federal government, because it needs to be done. We don't want to look back in 10 years and saying, I wonder why Dixon-Value moved to somewhere. And we don't want to, we don't plan to, so that wasn't like a veiled indication where we're looking. But you don't know what the future is going to bring. And everybody says they want jobs, but they got to understand what they got to do to have jobs. And that's important. We had a small acquisition a few years ago, and we made some of the product line. It became available to the competition. Once again, couldn't compete, and we decided we got them at the right price, and it was only about 35 jobs, but we put them in Virginia, not here. We chose not to put another division here for a number of different reasons, but the least of what was the way Virginia treated you versus the way Maryland treats you. So it's a fine line. We're going to be here, we're going to work to be here, and we're going to be successful here. And that's going to happen because I think the people in Chestertown respect us, because we try to make our buildings look decent. We try to be good corporate citizens. But I think we have to keep working together. Chestertown is not just that 2-block area down there. And sometimes I think that people think that's what Chestertown is. Chestertown is the people who live in College Heights, that live in other surrounding communities. That's what Chestertown is. And I mean, you drive through some of these developments outside of the downtown, even downtown area in Chestertown, you see all these sale signs here. You know, we want people to want to move here because they can get jobs, and they want them to send them to our schools. You know, join our civic clubs. We want that to happen, and I think we have to get more cognizant. How do we get more of our people employed? I really believe that if we could have the right kind of environment here and the right kind of educated workforce, that we could bring businesses to this community. The problem we have right now, we have an image of being a little bit isolated, you know, physically. Like we have a facility down there in Chesapeake Bay Business Park, and it's so much easier to rent space down there than it is here. People don't want to come up here and look. No matter what we do, they're not going to come here because either they're curious about our educational system, whether right or wrong, or we're a little further than they want to travel. And unless they want to live here or live in Rock Hall, it's going to be hard getting people to come here. But if we became exceptional at something, I mean, if we were the absolute best school system, which I think our folks are working toward, I think Barbara Wheeler and her crew would like to be that. But if we could obtain that, then people would seek us out. Say, that's where I would like to raise my family, send my kids to school, and hire employees from this great education system. I think the education system is a key. It is the biggest, in my opinion, it's the biggest economic development factor you can have.